Hey guys, it's Stadi and welcome back to Comic Space, and today we have quite an interesting update about one of those projects that we don't usually talk about it a lot, and even Mouse Studios themselves doesn't talk about it a lot. And we are not talking about Blade here, which again, it is also true, but by the title and the thumbnail you guys have probably figured it out. We are talking about Don Cheadle's Armor Wars, a major project that Mouse Studios went on to announce and even convert from a Disney Plus series to a feature-length film. And there was a complete silence after that. We haven't heard a single thing with what is happening with Armor Wars, where it stands right now, or even if it stands. So again, it looks like Mouse Studios has been going through a lot of stuff and with a lot of things to figure out on the multiverse side, let alone from Kang Dynasty to Doomsday, and they have a lot of things on their plate right now as we are heading towards the end of the multiverse saga. So our today's update is coming from Daniel RPK, and again, if you have been following our channel or have been part of the rumor mill, you know that we like to give him a lot more reverence, as he also having quite an impeccable track record when it comes to all of his scoops. As he went on to state, Armor Wars script is being rewritten due to the backlash of Secret Invasion. The story will be different from the original pitch. The film was supposed to release this year, but now it will come out after Secret Wars. So okay, this is very interesting, and I think a lot of things have happened and we have talked about them. Of course, you cannot overlook the major change, and that was going from Avengers Kang Dynasty to Avengers Doomsday, and that let alone tells you how many things have gone through changes, how many new plans were created, how many were thrown into trash with strikes and with everything, and with Mouse Studios also trying to figure out their whole creative situation with how they were going to be managing Disney Plus moving forward. And I think it is also one of those projects where Mouse Studios was very keen towards their output on Disney Plus specifically, and I think Armor Wars was one of those projects that they had planned in those early days of the multiverse saga. But again, they did saw the potential in the storyline and they changed it from a Disney Plus series to a feature-length film, which also means they had a solid script and a solid idea and a concept to move forward with that film. But the script is also being rewritten, and I think this is very interesting due to the backlash of Secret Invasion, because a lot of the things probably would have been connected back to Secret Invasion. Maybe the original Armor Wars was very similar to what Mouse Studios tried to do with Secret Invasion, or had a lot of ties to it. And with everything going on right now, if you look at Mouse Studios is planning to wrap up the multiverse saga, they already have a lot of things to figure it out. That also tells you how many major changes have happened and the direction that Mouse Studios have swayed in a completely different gear, with Avengers Doomsday and going from Kang Dynasty, which looks to be Mouse Studios have went on to completely scrapped. So, and of course there are potential talks about Mouse Studios planning to release Doctor Strange 3 in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. And of course they have Spider-Man 4 in the works too, which is also supposed to be a major set piece and a bridging point for Secret Wars and Doomsday. So they do have a lot to think on that front, let alone and just pushing Armor Wars, which might not be connecting to this major narrative that they have going on, the main storyline which is in the multiverse saga, and they also need to refigure out everything. So they're going to be circling back to Armor Wars when they're done with Secret Wars. And again, I don't think so Mouse Studios is going to be went on to pull a plug on a project that they announced, that they officially announced, and they change it into a feature-length film. They are probably going to need some time to think about it, and they're going to circle back to it. They're rewriting the script, so of course they're trying to figure it out and how they're going to be handling it, with of course Don Cheadle in the center stage, with James Rhodes being the central character and following the story of Armor Wars. And another major thing to talk about, which again been in addition to that, they need to figure out that project from scratch all over again. But also Mouse Studios does not have too many release dates to play with. They have very few release dates left. After Fantastic Four First Steps, there is nothing. We are heading straight into Avengers Doomsday, and then we are supposed to be reading Spider-Man 4, and then there is a November release date that Mouse Studios have right now, which we are speculating to be Doctor Strange 3, but again there are a lot of things has to go into place for that project to come out. At that release date, they need to write in script, which again we haven't heard anything solid on that front. They need to go into the production for that film at the end of this very year. And I think the most possible title for that slot has to be Blade, because Mouse Studios does need to roll out Blade, and I think they are going to be doing it within the multiverse saga. Another release date that we have, it is of Feb 27, which is going to be just before Avengers Secret Wars. So not really having in Captain Marvel to Endgame, but having Blade, which is going to be its own thing, and not having too many ties with the multiverse saga and the multiverse storyline. So I think Blade can be taking one of those two release date, and that will left us with only one opening from Marvel Studios, and we already have Spider-Man 4 in the works that Marvel Studios is going to be doing. But again, it is going to be more of a Sony project than it is going to be of Marvel. So once you look at the current landscape that we have, and with the release dates that we have, and with the current storyline of the multiverse going on, and of course Marvel Studios also needs to take a breather and come back to Armor Wars and with a completely new script. So of course it is going to be coming out after Avengers Secret Wars. It does make sense. How long after Secret Wars, we still gotta see that. So it is going to be fun with how Marvel Studios is going to be handling sub projects such as Blade and Armor Wars. So I think it is time for me to see you guys off on this one. I'm so glad that you guys got the time to hear me out. Thanks for listening to me. This is your host Adi signing off. See you in the next one.